Welcome to another video. We're going to look at a few examples on applications involving slope-intercept form. So I have the first one here. It says you are visiting Baltimore, Maryland, and a taxi company charges a flat fee of $3 for using the taxi and $0.75 per mile. So the first thing I'm going to ask you guys to do is let's write an equation to model this. Write an equation where x is miles and y is cost. So I will pause the video and let you try this, or I encourage you to pause the video and try it. All right, so I hope you had a chance to try it on your own. So I'm just going to underline a couple things here. Whenever you see a problem like this with a company charging you a flat fee and then a rate per mile or per hour, there's some words that are going to kind of clue me in on where I should put these numbers into my equation. So whenever I see this flat fee, right, that is going to be kind of the starting cost, right, the starting value. So flat fee, starting cost. Now, I encourage you guys to think about this. Would that be the y-intercept or the slope? If you answered y-intercept, you are right. So the flat fee is going to be my y-intercept. And then this 0.75 per mile, whenever you see a word like per, that's a huge red flag or a huge clue that this is going to be the slope. So when I go ahead and write this equation, I know that an equation in slope-intercept form is going to be of the form y equals mx plus b. So I'm going to go ahead and now plug in the numbers that I recognized from this situation. So I'm going to say that y is equal to m. The slope is going to be 0.75 or 0.75 x plus my y-intercept is this flat fee of $3. All right. And now I have kind of a follow-up question here, which is how much would the taxi ride be for 8 miles? How much is an 8-mile taxi ride? So I want you to think about this. I'm given another number. The question is, should I plug this 8 in for x, which is miles, or y, which is cost? If you said miles, you are right? It's kind of almost obvious, right? Because it says 8 miles. So this is going to be, how would I figure this out? Well, I'm going to plug it into my new function rule here. So y equals 0.75x except for instead of X, I'm going to put 8. And then I need to add 3 to it. Right, because that's kind of that flat fee that I'm always charged. So I encourage you to try this out. You can use a calculator if you need to. So when I go ahead and do this, 0.75 of 8 is going to be $6, and 6 plus 3 is equal to 9. So this is telling me that an 8-mile taxi ride is going to cost me $9. And then lastly, just one more question here. Let me maybe move this over. If a taxi ride costs $15, how many miles did you go? So, encourage you to think about this. I'm given another number, $15, which is the cost. So I want you to think, am I going to plug that value in for X or for Y? Yeah, and if you said that you plug it in for Y, you are correct, right? Because Y is the cost. So I'm going to go ahead and instead of writing Y, I'm going to write 15, which is equal to 0.75x plus 3. And now we can go ahead and solve this equation. So I encourage you to try to do that. What would be the first step in solving this equation? Yeah, if you said subtract 3 from both sides, you are correct. Right, you can also think about moving 3 to the other side and changing it from positive to negative. So this is going to be 0.75x equals 12. And then the last step, what is it going to be, guys? What would I need to do to both sides? Yeah, if you said divide by 0.75, you are correct. Sometimes this is easier if you don't have a calculator to think of 0.75 as a fraction. And then if you guys remember this from kind of middle school or grade school, whenever you divide by a fraction, it is equivalent to multiplying by the reciprocal, which means the fraction flipped upside down. So if I multiply by 4 over 3, that is equivalent to dividing by that 3/4. Because what ends up happening is when you multiply straight across, you get 12 over 12, which is just 1. And this is a little easier for me to do in my head because I know that 12 divided by 3 is 4, and then multiply by 4. So this is going to tell me that X is 16. X is 16. And, you know, you can check me on a calculator if you wanted to just divide by 0.75. It's a little bit harder to do in your head, though. All right, so let's scroll down, and I have another one for us to look at here. Oops, I guess I had 2 more. We might just do 1. This video is going a little longer than I thought. Come on. All right, so this problem says, in order to join an online community or an online learning community, there is a $20 startup fee and a $5 monthly fee. Write an equation in slope-intercept form that models this situation. And we're going to say that x is going to be the amount of months and y is going to be the cost. So I encourage you to pause the video and try this on your own. All right, so let's take a look at it. So again, I'm going to underline some kind of things here. Whenever I see this kind of thing like a startup fee or flat fee or starting value, that is going to clue me in that this 20 is going to be the y-intercept. And this monthly fee, whenever you have something broken up into a time period, like per month, per year, yearly, monthly, weekly, that's going to be the slope. So let's go ahead and let's write this down into slope-intercept form. And my slope is going to be 5, so 5x plus 20. So now I have another question kind of to follow up on this. If I plan on staying in this online community for, let's say, 24 months, so I plan on being in for 24 months, what will the cost be? So think about this. What am I going to need to plug in, or where do I plug this 24 in? And remember, this is the amount of months. So if you said that you plug it in for x, you are right. So let's go ahead and do that. Y equals 5x, but instead of x, I'm going to write 24. And then plus 20. And well, let's see here. So this is going to be 5 times 4 is 20, and 5 times 20 is 100. So this is going to be 120 plus 20, and that is going to be 140. So it will cost me $140 to be in this online learning community for 24 months. So that's a 2-year period. All right, so one more question. Let's see here. So let's let's say that, let me just actually move this over here. Just give myself a little space. So if I am billed for $170, how long was I in the online learning community? encourage you to pause the video and try this on your own. Think about what you'll need to plug that 170 in for. All right, so let's take a look at it. So this is, right, the cost. So I need to plug this in for Y. Right, whenever you say I'm billed for something, that's telling you what the cost is. So 170 is going to be plugged in for Y. 5x plus 20. And I encourage you to try to solve this on your own now. So I'll go ahead and insert this. So I'm going to subtract 20 from both sides. So this would be 150 equals 5x. Divide both sides by 5. And you're going to get x is 30. So this is saying that the total cost, or I'm sorry, if the total cost is $170, I was in the program, the online learning community, for 30 months. And the video is getting a little long, so we will stop it there.